This is the Steve Saga world. But how is it possible that we have it on here? It first started with a project called Minecraft Steve Saga. It's essentially a Minecraft roleplay series created by My Saber. It's centered around these characters called Steves. Many different types of Steves, colored Steves, based off of maybe elements or time or whatever. There were so many of them, I'm not able to list you here, it's gonna take a minute. The project ended in 2020 without actually being concluded. I wasn't really fine with that, so me and my team decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we just recreate everything we needed for the project and then actually continue it and finish it properly by covering all the story plot holes if there were any, and there were quite a few. There is a way to cover it, so it is possible. We needed to start off of somewhere. At first I said, okay, let's first focus on remaking the texture pack. And so we did. We remade every single resource from the Minecraft Steve Saga. Then I said, okay, let's remake all the builds. And so we did. We remade almost every single build from the Steve Saga. But that wasn't it yet. We needed something more. We needed something grand, something that defines the world of the Steve Saga. And well, that's the world itself. We needed to obtain the Minecraft Steve Saga seed. And I'm here today to tell you how exactly we managed to do so. First, we need to obtain coordinates. These are going to be used for something very specific, but the way how we obtained the coordinates essentially is we took 20 different texture rotations. To explain that is basically grass blocks have 4 different rotations: north, south, east, west of a texture. It's different on each block it's standing on, but it's the same on all seeds between coordinates. So for example, if I stand on coordinate x200, y20, z200, well, the texture rotation on another seed is gonna be the same. It's basically synced across all seeds in Minecraft. So by using 20 of these blocks next to each other, we were able to pinpoint one or many possible coordinates of the said location we were searching for. We were here to find what the seed was. Why do we need coordinates for this? Well, the coordinates are used for the next step, to actually find the seed, by using trees. Now, you heard me correctly. We're gonna use trees to find the Minecraft seed. How is that possible? People from this place called Minecraft at Home, it's the same people that found the Herobrine seed and the Minecraft main menu screen seed, and all of those seeds that were basically impossible to find because once a seed is loaded and then the world is deleted, normally you're unable to find it again. But if you have footage now, you're able to use the footage you have to your advantage to be able to find these seeds. One of them is using texture rotations to find the coordinates of a location, then use these coordinates to pinpoint trees. And the trees is what actually helps us to find the seed here through multiple filters in this app called Tree Cracker, made by the same people from Minecraft at Home. Essentially what the filter does is we take these corner leaves that we have on normal birch trees and normal oak trees. If you didn't know, normal birch trees and normal oak trees generate with different height, oak being between 5 to 7 blocks tall, and the birch being between 6 to 8 blocks tall. The trees themselves have variations in them, and those are being these corner leaves. For example, you see me standing on this tree, and I'm looking at this corner leaf, it's there. But if I go on the other side of this tree, there is no corner leaf. These generate randomly, and there's a whole system behind them that we're able to utilize to find the seed. For each normal tree like these, there are a total of 12 corner leaves. We use the data from these specific corner leaves, either it's empty or it's filled with a leaf block, and we also use the height of a tree trunk and the type of a tree. So for example, let's say we take this one. We take the corner leaves and then we say we define this tree as birch in the filter. We say how high it is. Now we're not actually gonna state the height of a full tree, we're gonna state the height of a tree trunk. In this case, it's the height of a tree minus 1, because we don't count the top leaf. Instead, we count the height of the wood blocks, the tree trunk itself. And we also need to be careful on what kind of trees we're selecting, because abnormal oak trees such as this one or large oak trees don't work in this. And we also need to be careful on where exactly these trees are positioned. We need to select multiple trees from one specific population chunk. If you select them from different population chunks, it's not gonna work. Population chunks are essentially a different system to generate trees in Minecraft. Normally you have normal chunks with, you know, you can turn on chunk borders and you can see 16 by 16 chunks in them, right? Well, the population chunks, the way how trees generate on top of a terrain, has an 8 by 8 block offset. And the coordinate system works very differently, because the coordinates you're supposed to be taking from these are not player coordinates, but block coordinates, which has different value if you go into the negatives. I know this might be a little complicated to understand, but I'm just explaining this for the people who are willing to do something like this again in the future, so that they have a little bit of context. We had to work with little to no information, and most of the time we had actual people from Minecraft at home helping us out with providing us with the necessary information on how to pull this off. So, okay, we got the data, but then we actually weren't able to do it. We needed help from an experienced member from Minecraft at home. And that experienced member was Ed. So shout out to him. Ed was able to find us not only the Steve Saga seed, but also the old Steve Saga seed. If you didn't know, before Saber started using shaders in the series, he was using actually a different version of Minecraft, 1.8.9. The version of the world was different. Therefore, Ed was able to find the old 1.8.9 seed and also the new 1.12.2 seed, which I'm currently working on. And yeah, this is the actual seed. I can fly around and show you a little bit. Here we go. This is the swamp area next to the rainbow town. As you can see, we already managed to put all the builds in here. Even went as far as trying to correctly replicate the exact way how a rainbow tree of life looked like. Obviously, it's not a one-on-one replica, but it's just big. It's way too big to do a one-on-one replica. Therefore, I just spent a little while to smoothen it out and make it look almost exactly how it was in the original series. And then the walls. Dude, the walls. These apparently have 4 sections. So from this layer, it is 2 sections deep. Here we go. Let me show you on the other side of the town. Here. It is so deep. Building this was fine at first, but then it became a nightmare when we needed to find the exact coordinates of each tree. We needed to use the texture rotations for every single position of every single structure you're seeing. Now, I wasn't doing this all by myself, obviously. Besides Ed, who helped us find the seed, I got some help from AidenKing. Now, Aiden is known for making a remake of a Rainbow Town of his own, but it was never really completed. Aiden joined the idea of finding the seed. He went even beyond that. He's the one who's currently using the texture rotations to find all the coordinates of all the structures from the series. He was actually the one who found the coordinates of a Rainbow Town. And at first, he didn't use texture rotations. What he used was bedrock layers. On Minecraft seeds, just like with texture rotations, but this time it's block pattern, the way how bedrock spawns is the same on all seeds. Meaning that if you find a specific pattern, we would be able to find a coordinate where this pattern was. How is that possible? There is no bedrock being exposed in a Rainbow Town. You're kind of right, but you're also kind of wrong. For old fans out there, if you remember how this character called Nightmare Steve destroyed the Rainbow Town by summoning a bunch of void spheres, those went all the way down to bedrock. So what Aiden did, he used that to find the actual coordinates of a Rainbow Town by using the way how the spheres were spawned in. Apparently the size of these spheres were 59.5 radius, and I had to figure this out by summoning these myself, getting to the point where we had a whole block line going all the way to the gate so we could actually get the coordinates of the trees themselves. That was pain to build. And at the end of the day, we didn't even use these trees because they had incorrect leaf positions. They were modified on the footage in the Steve Saga because this area was fireballed a lot. So instead we used a different location, and that's the Nightmare Steve dimension. Specifically the Nightmare Hill. This is where Rainbow Steve spoke for the first time to Saber. Yes, that's the exact same location, it's just there's a lot of trees here. And we used a lot of these trees that are on the edge of this hill to find these specific coordinates. And from there, we just teleported to the coordinates of a rainbow town that was already found by Aiden. That's how we began building. We even had a funny accident when we looked at the old footage that Lucas, Saber's companion in the Steve Saga, who created his own series that later got removed from the public eye, had the same XP level on Saber's server and on his own server, as he stated. Then we found out that actually Lucas never had his own server. It was always on the Steve Saga server, the same seed, the same server. So we also managed to replicate the entire base that Lucas had. We got his house, the basement, the Steve Sanctuary, a bunch of machines that Lucas built to trap Steves, and we even replicated the sky base. Now obviously not all of it, we couldn't replicate the hidden area inside of it because there was no saved footage at the time when we were building this, and we still don't have any of it. This probably was the hardest part of rebuilding every single build. We even did the lava pool stuff. It's still work in progress. Nothing is really here that accurate, but at least the main parts are. Here's the Nightmare Steve blender machine that was used once to get Nightmare Steve off of Lucas's server. And this is where Light Steve died for the last time on Lucas's server. Yeah. We actually have footage of these events unfolding in real time. You might want to check this out. I'll probably leave a link to Lucas's deleted series somewhere in the description. Besides the Rainbow Town and Lucas's base, we actually managed to also rebuild almost the entirety of the Steve Catacombs. It's work in progress, as you can see. There is a bunch of red blocks here. That's because this place is not really finished. But here's the entirety of the catacombs being built. It's got everything, pretty much. All of the rooms have been added. The person who was working on this is called FrostCraftMC. But here you go, that's the catacombs. You can't really see them well with shaders. Here's the Nightmare Steve tomb. Here's the portal to the Nightmare dimension as well. And this is the place where God Steve was communicating with Saber. I could potentially spend another hour showing you all of the locations, but that's just too long. Just enjoy what you've seen so far. We're definitely gonna show you more, but that's gonna be a whole separate video. Oh yeah, one last thing I have to say about rebuilding this Rainbow Town. Besides rebuilding the walls and removing the mountains that were on the way, which was... that was hell. Building this thing in here was completely nuts. Now, we already had a Rainbow Town schematic before that was sent by the ex-Rainbow Steve actor from Saber's Steve Saga reboot series called Rainbow Quest. He just randomly sent me a schematic of this. That's why I have a ship and the builds in the first place. They had to be fixed a little bit because they were not that correctly rebuilt. And that's because the original Rainbow Town map got deleted. So it's kind of funny. As far as I'm aware, Saber doesn't really have the Rainbow Town world anymore. We're kind of the only ones who have this now. Now, I'm not gonna gatekeep the seed to you. What I'm actually gonna do is just give you the seed here. I'll probably put it also in the description so you can copy paste it very easily. The version of the Minecraft you need to use to generate the seed is 1.12.2. So the Rainbow Town, when it had to be remade by Saber's team when they needed to make the Space Saga arc of the Steve Saga, had to be remade from scratch. So it didn't actually look correct at all. It looked close to this, but it wasn't this. Here's where the problem comes. If you take the original map of a Rainbow Town, the Galaxy ship that was later added when they made the map remake could not fit in here. I had to cut half of this terrain to fit the entirety of a ship. But besides that, everything else is correctly rebuilt. Even the tree positions have to be correct. Every single one of them were individually checked by Aiden multiple times. So here you have it. That's the way how we found the Rainbow Town seed and how we are rebuilding the full thing. I mentioned this before, we're making a fan-made continuation of a Steve Saga. Right now the project is on hold because we need a lot of help and we don't have enough help. We're working on another project called Lost Dynasty, which doesn't require as much help as we need for the Steve Saga continuation. Keep in mind, the Steve Saga continuation is a fan-made project. We're not official. We're just fans who really enjoy the content that Saber made back in the day, and we really want to finish it properly. We want to do justice to the Steve Saga. And we will do so by finishing the story correctly, covering majority, if not all, plot holes that were ever mentioned in the series. Stay tuned for that, but for now, focus on Lost Dynasty. It's a really cool project based off of a Steve Saga, but it has its own story. You'll definitely enjoy this if you enjoyed Steve Saga. Once again, check the description of this video for all the credit to all the people that help us out. And I'll see you in the next video.
I'll love the fire in your sage. But you're gonna die on this speck of dust.
What do you want from me?
Steve's like little children, always fighting, making a mess out of the universe. There's one way you survive. Tell me where he's hiding. Where is Favor my saber?
He's not here, but I found someone with the potential to take you down. Sage art, blue style.
We shall meet again, Blue Sage. I will have all the answers he needs. Leave now.
Gentlemen, this is your opponent.
So, when do we start?